Hi all, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's session, we will be discussing about Python string. Python string, as we know, string represents a group of characters that are enclosed with single or double quotes, and it is represented with an str keyword. So we have already dealt with examples in sequence data type, but I will just brief out few examples even here as well. And str1 is a variable where it has a value hi, how's the day, enclosed with double quotes. Now let us move on to string indexing. So the indexing represents the position of a character in a given string. Indexing can be performed in positive and negative direction. Positive indexing in a string starts from 0 to length of string -1. Length of string can be obtained with the help of len function, which will be discussed in the functions of string. And negative indexing can be used as shown below, in which -1 corresponds to length of string -1. So here -1 is the negative indexing value, which is length of string -1. The length is 2, 4, 5. 5 minus 1 is 4, and it is at index number 4, and its value is -1, where negative indexing can be performed. And also -2 corresponds to length of string -2. So length of string will be 5. 5 minus 2 is 3, so the index position will be 3, and -2 will be the corresponding negative index value, and these things will goes on. Now let us try to have a look into this example in our code editor. Let me create an indexing file, indexing.py. So I will take st1 is equal to Arjun. So I want this to be a string, so hence it will be enclosed with double quotes. As I said you in the slide, we need to obtain the length of the string. So we can obtain the length of the string by using len function, len of the string st1, and if I try to print it, I got output as 5. So why I got as 5 is Arjun is a word or a string which contains 5 characters, hence it returns a length as 5. Now I will try to assign this with one variable. So let me take x is equal to len of st1, and instead of the, I'll just comment out this. Instead of this, I will try to print it. On printing, I got 5 as an output, which returns the length of the string. So now, according to the slide, if I try to execute the negative indexing, my value of -1 should be n. Now let me try to print it. Print st1 of -1, which returns n. So n is the element which will be available at an index position -1. So how exactly it is so it -1 is an index position will be assigned with the help of the string -1. The length of the string is 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. So the value at index number 4 is -1. So that's what it means to say. And if I try to obtain the value at -2, I could able to print st1 of -2. Then I could able to end up with u. So as per the slide, I am getting the u. And if I try to print the index value of 3 with the help of positive indexing, I used to get the value 3. Let me execute even that as well. Print st1 of 3. See, again I'm getting the value as u. So here what I mean to explain here is the string could able to support both positive indexing and negative indexing, which help you in coding. So that's what the feature of string, where it supports both positive and negative indexing. Now let us move on to next feature, where we could able to access string characters. So in a given string, we could able to access each and individual character of the string with the help of its index position. So that's what I have executed here. So with the help of this index values, we could able to access its characters. So that's what I have demonstrated in this example. And I have mentioned one more disclaimer saying that modifying characters in a string is not possible because strings are immutable, and modifying object is not possible. So the term immutable is nothing but objects whose values or content cannot be changed or modified are called as immutable objects. So string is an immutable object because we could able to access their characters or values with the help of index value, but we could not able to modify its values because those are immutable. So let me try to execute this in our code editor. So as we have Arjun as an example, I will try to print its index value at 0, where I need to get A as the string. So I got A as the string. Instead of A, I wanted to replace A with a new character. For example, instead of A, I wanted to replace it with K. So at that point of time, if I try to print st1 of 0 to be K, then if I try to print st1, I'm getting a type error because st1 of 0 is K. What I mean to do is, like, instead of A character, I am replacing it with K character with help of index. So index A is available at index position 0, where I'm replacing it with K, but it's giving me an error, type error, saying that string object does not support item assignment. So it means it is immutable, where the objects or the values in an given string cannot be modified. So that's what it means. So that's the reason it's giving type error, saying that it does not support item assignment. I think you got some clear picture on slicing and indexing, where we performed accessing and modifying the characters or the values of the string. Now let us move to string functions, where we have following string functions, and I will be executing each and every string functions in code editor for your clear understanding. So len. So len function, this method returns the length of the string. I think I have performed this len function in string slicing and string indexing part. So let me try to execute this string functions in code editor. Just create functions.py. Let me take example st1 is equal to Arjuna, and I will try to print len of st1. And if I try to print, I'm getting output as 6 because it contains 6 characters. 2, 4, 6. Yeah. And I will just try to mention each and every function name here for your clear understanding. So this is the length of the string. So length function used to return the length of a given string. It is nothing but the number of characters in a given string. Now let us move to upper. So this method is used to convert all the characters of a string into uppercase. So let me execute this. Upper print st1 dot upper. So if I try to print this, so my st1 variable contains Arjuna with small characters, but I'm on using upper function, I could able to get all the characters in capital letter. So then lower. So this method is used to convert all the characters of a string into lowercase. So let me take another example now. st2 ram. So we'll just add lower print st1 dot lower. Now I will select st2 because st2 is ram, which has capital letters. Let me run this program. By using lower function, all the characters of st2 which has a capital letter ram will be converted into small letter, where the output contains small letters of ram. Yeah, that's it. Now let us move to fourth one, which is capitalize function. This method is used to capitalize the first character of a given string. So it just capitalize the first character of a given string. So let me run this. Capitalize. So we'll just comment this. Print st1 dot capitalize. I'm using Arjuna itself. Arjuna has A with small letter. With help of capitalize, I could able to make A as in capital letter in string Arjuna. Yeah, I got an output as capital A Arjuna. So that's what the functionalities of capitalize. Find function. This method is used to find a word and return the index of a first occurrence of that word. For example, if I want to search J in the string st1, I can make use of an find function where it returns the index position. So I'll just use find print st1 dot find, I'll just mention the character which I want to search, and I will try to execute this. So I'm getting the value as 2 because j value is available at second index position, because a is at 0, r is at 1, and j is at 2. Yeah, so that's all about find function. Now let us move to next section, which contains few other functions, which is isupper. Isupper function, this method is used to test whether a given string is uppercase or not. Okay, if we just check whether a given string is uppercase or lowercase. So in my example, I will take st2 now. So I will just execute whether my string 2 is uppercase or not. st2 dot isupper. So if I try to print this, I need to get a true value because this is a Boolean value. We have discussed this concept in our data types where it is returning true, which means our st2 is capital. Our st2 contains a string ram which is of capital letters. Hence the given condition is true. And if I try to execute this for first string 1 st1, which is Arjuna, where it has all small letters, and if I try to execute this, I'm getting false. So which means string 1 is small case, hence it is printing as false. So it is just evaluating the condition whether it is true or false. Then we have the next function as islower. So this method is used to test whether a given string is lowercase or not. Yeah, so our st1 string has an small case letters which is Arjuna, and if I try to check whether it is lower or not, we could able to make use of islower function. Is lower print st1 dot islower. Now I must return with true because st1 is all of lowercase letters, hence it is given true. So that's all with isupper and islower. And now let us move to lstrip. So lstrip function, this method is used to remove the spaces which is at the left side of the string. So in case if you have a string, for example, let us take an example st3, where you have an spaces on the left side and you have the string on to the right where you have empty spaces here, around 4 empty spaces. You have to remove these empty spaces, means you could able to make use of an lstrip. So lstrip is a function which used to remove the empty spaces onto your left, st3 dot lstrip. So on removing the empty spaces, you could get Bhima without any spaces. But on prior to this, if you print only st3, you will get an Bhima associated with spaces. You could able to see these are the 4 spaces which is available on prior to lstrip function usage. So we have a Bhima associated with 4 spaces, but after using lstrip function, the following spaces has been wiped out. So then we can move to rstrip. Rstrip function used to remove the spaces which is at the right side of the string. So for example, if you have a string st4 Lakshman and you have around 5 empty spaces to the right, and if you want to remove those, you can make use of rstrip. For example, if you try to print st4, you could able to notice a Lakshman with these many spaces. These are the spaces, and if you want to remove the strings onto the right of a given string, you could able to make use of rstrip. st4 dot rstrip. To try to print this, the spaces has been completely removed to the right of a given string. So that is all about rstrip. And strip function is method is used to remove the spaces from both the side of the string. For example, if you have a string where you have the empty spaces on both the end, for example Rocky, so you have an empty spaces on both the ends of a given string. So if you want to remove those, you can make use of a strip. Print st5.strip, and if I try to execute this, see, the spaces on the left side as well as right side has been completely removed. So that is the functionality of strip function. Now let us move to few other string functions. Replace function. This method is used to replace a substring in a string with another substring. Syntax is string dot replace old string with new string. Consider an example here. st6 is an example where we have Rama, Arjuna as two words in a given string. So Rama is one substring and Arjuna is another substring. So if you want to replace Arjuna with Bhima, you can make use of replace function in a string. Let me try to execute that. Replace. So for example, if I will just print directly. So print st6 dot replace, where I wanted to replace Arjuna with Hima. I could able to make use of replace function. If I replace Arjuna with Bhima, I'm getting the output as Rama Bhima. Initially my string was Rama Arjuna. By using replace function, I could able to replace Arjuna substring with Bhima. So that's all about replace. Now let us move to split. So split, this method is used to split or break a given string into list elements, which means, for example, consider example st7 is equal to Ravi, Rakshi. So these are the two substrings available in a given string. So if I want to break these elements into list elements, I could able to make use of split function. So I will just define x is equal to st7 dot split. That's it. And if I try to print it, x, the following string will be breakdown into a list elements. You could able to see initially I have two substrings Ravi and Rakshi in a given string. So and these two substrings has been breakdown into list elements with the help of split function. So that's all about split. Just mention here for your convenience. Yeah. So that's all about split. So join. So this method is used to join strings into one string. So you could able to join two substrings into one string with the help of join function. So let us take, we have an example here where with the help of split we have breakdown the given string Ravi and Rakshi into two different elements. Join function in a string. So with the help of join function, you could able to add two different elements into a given string. For example, with the help of split function, we have breakdown the substrings of a given string into two different elements. So with the help of join function, let me add them into together. So for that, y is equal to, I wanted to add a separator. For a separator, I am adding a space. I am adding dot join. So my elements are x. So initially I have two elements which got breakdown with the help of split function Ravi and Rakshi, and I'm just adding both the things now, and I will print it. As a result, on executing, I could able to reproduce the same string with the help of join. Yeah, now I have reproduced the same string with the help of join function where it has been breakdown into two different elements. Now with the help of join function, I could able to get back them into a given string. So you could able to cross check its data type as well. Print type with y. Type is an syntax where you could able to cross check the data type. You could able to see initially it was an list and now it has been typecasted into string. So that's all about join function. Starts with. This method is used to check whether a given string starting with substring or not. For example, if you want to cross check whether a given string is starting with a given substring or not. For example, I have a string 7 which is Ravi and Rakshi, and if I wanted to check whether a given string is starting with Ravi or not, for that purpose you could able to make use of starts with function. So I will just make use of print So st7 dot starts with, and initially it is starting with Ravi, and I will cross check whether it is trying to starts with Ravi or not. It is returning true because the string 7 is starting with Ravi and followed by Rakshi. And if I try to add any other different things, then automatically it will just give me an output as false, because here the word is Ravi, but I have added one more extra character to a Ravi word, which is I, and hence it is not at all matching with first substring of an string, hence it is giving an false. So that's all about starts with. So, and ends with. This function is used to check whether a string is ending with a substring or not, and it is almost close enough to start with, but it is cross-checking the ending word of a given string. So ends with, I will just print st7 dot ends with, where it is ending with Rakshi. So if I try to print this, it is returning me true because Rakshi is an substring which is available as an end word of a string 7. So these are the major functions what we have discussed till now, and we have completed all the aspects of string, which is string indexing, string accessing, and string modifying, and followed with string functions. So these are the major functions which you need to know for better understanding of the string data type. So that's all for the session, and if you like this video, please kindly like and subscribe.